doors and doing new things because we are curious and curiosity keeps leading us to new paths. A very good morning to the assembly of distinguished guests, worthy members of Executive Board, and our most prized delegate. We are indeed delighted and honored by your presence on this significant day. Heartiest welcome to our chief guest, Mr. Amitabh Mattu. We are immensely honored by your gracious presence, sir. On the honor of our chief guest, present you the montage for JYC. Well, there are connectivity issues this time. I request you all to be patient. Thank you.
The sea wants to kiss the golden shore. The sunlight warms your skin. All the beauty that's been lost before wants to find us again. I can find. Standing in the street, the sun is in the east. Calling out the beast, the tiger underneath. I'm starting to believe the world is at my feet. I'm ready for the feast, it's all within my reach. It's all within my reach. I'm going all the way, and I'm going, yeah, my blood is rebel. I'm going all the way, I'm going to another level. To another level.
This montage is what I mean when someone says perfection. Indeed, a great start to a great event. It gives us immense pleasure to welcome you all to one of the most awaited conferences of Jammu and Kashmir, that is Jodhamal Youth Conclave, popularly known as JYC. After a successful EJYC last year, we are back with yet another virtual edition of JYC. Since the last 4 years of JYC, it has been setting high standards edition by edition, and this year would be no difference. A youth conclave has the ability to let the delegates speak up for what they believe in and become involved in the world. It cultivates the students of today into the leaders of tomorrow who would have the ability and the confidence to reshape this world. On this momentous occasion, it is a proud privilege and fortune to welcome Mr. Amitabh Mattu as our chief guest. True welcome is never complete without warm words and warm gestures. I request the Honorable Principal, Sir, Dr. Deep Khare, to say a few words of inspiration to the delegates and accord a formal welcome to the dignitaries.
Good morning, everyone. I heartily welcome Padma Shri Amitabh Mattu ji, Trustee Jodhamal Public School, Nandan Kotiala ji, the Director Jodhamal Public School, Aarti ma'am, Vice Principal ma'am Shefali Sanwal, Administrative Officer Mr. Bharat Bhushan Sharma, teachers from different schools who are mentoring these wonderful generation, and not the least my colleague from Jodhamal and dear delegates. Jodhamal Youth Conclave in its 4th edition have gone from inception to a wonderful event, and I'm lucky to see the effect of the utility of the purpose of this event. In my last 2 years of stay in Jodhamal, I could see the personality change of the people who have been part of such a unique event. Dear children, JYC is not just a competition or winning over to one another. It is a life learning lesson. It lets you know that how it is important to understand others rather than forcing your own opinion on others. It is not to be done only during the competitions like this. The ambience are every day in our lives. We have to be very, very cautious of the things around, very, very observant. You don't have to see and watch, you have to observe. This is where, in the last 10 15 days, you're busy trying to figure out various problems of the world. I only have one small message to all the wonderful delegates, that the same observation you should have for the things around you, in our society, in our families, around us. It should not be limited to only an ambience. It should not only end up that I was the best delegate. No, my dear. You're a delegate for 2 days, but you're a human being for every day. You're an important member of this great country, India. And the same judgment, same versatility, same enthusiasm should be there to solve problems of every day. I hope that this new opportunity came into your way will make you wiser than earlier, will make you better observer than earlier, will make you more confident than ever. This particular chapter in your life should give you a new you. I repeat, this experience should give you a new you. My best wishes for every one of you to have a great, useful, purposeful use of this particular event. Professor Amitabh Bhattuji, we welcome back to you to the whole family. I have been told you were the one who were the member of the board before even the school started. And I'm overwhelmed with this whole fact that what a great thing having you once again in the family and to listen to you, your wisdom and your kind words. I remember I was told that you have been the first chief guest of, the chief guest of the first annual day. I think there's no other words and there's no other possibility to have anybody better than you joining us today. I welcome you once again to the family, sir, and I'm sure your words of wisdom will guide these young minds who are going to change the world around us. Thank you, everyone. Once again, all the very best, dear children. Don't play for winning. Enjoy this time to learn and become better. Thank you, everybody. Welcome once again. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Professor Amitabh Mattu is a professor of international relations at Jawaharlal Nehru University and the University of Melbourne, a DPhil from the University of Oxford, and visiting professor at Stanford University. He was the former vice chancellor of the University of Jammu and the chair of the board of Miranda House and the director of Australia India Institute. He was awarded Padma Shri by the Government of India in 2009. Your aura has lent a unique charm to the occasion. Sir, you have motivated all of us by being an example of light in the darkness. We would be delighted with your expertise and knowledge in every way possible. Now I request our chief guest to address the young delegates by words of wisdom.
Just give me a second. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, Khushi, for those very kind words, and thank you also for speaking so well about today's event. Let me also thank the principal, Dr. Deep Khare, for again his very generous words, but also for outlining the vision for the school and for the Jodhamal Youth Convention, Youth Conclave. I want to acknowledge the presence of the trustee, Sri Nandan Kutiala, and the director, Aarti Kutiala, who really have laid the foundations for this remarkable school, as well as the vice principal, Shefali Senwalji. I must say that although my association with the Jodhamal Public School goes back to when it hadn't even started and I was part of the first advisory board, But even in my dreams, I hadn't imagined that it would scale such great heights in such a short period. And my association has continued both at a personal and professional level. Both Nandan and Aarti are dear friends, but was I was there as the chief guest for the inaugural function of the Rai Bahadur Jodhamal Kutyala Scholarship, and I'm also a great admirer of the Kutyala family and the manner in which they extend their philanthropic activities in Jammu and beyond. I'm particularly delighted to be part of the youth conclave. In these pandemic times, it's important for us to recognize that that each one of these activities makes us much more aware of both the limits of human possibilities, but also in the manner in which we can overcome even the worst of challenges. I'm delighted particularly that the Youth Conclave's motto is Atadeep Viharata, enlighten yourself. And this was something that Buddha, while he was passing away at a moment of deep grief, was a message that he gave to the Sangha, and particularly Ananda. He said, therefore, Ananda, be islands unto yourselves, refugees unto yourselves, seeking no external refuge, with the Dharma as your island, the Dhamma as your refuge, seeking no other refuge. In other words, that this is a moment of liberation, that you, through your own self-confidence, can actually conquer the world, and that you need no external guidance or external agency to be able to allow you to do that. I think these are profound words, and these are profound words which only someone as thoughtful, as wise, and sagely as the Buddha could have uttered. But the thoughtfulness of those words becomes more important today, as I said, in these difficult, troubled, challenging times, when apart from the pandemic itself, you witness the greatest humanitarian tragedy unfolding itself in our neighboring country, Afghanistan, almost as bad as what happened in Bangladesh. And the forces of both nature and man-made conflict are at its highest, whether it's climate change or other catastrophes which are really natural but man-made, but also internecine conflicts that occur all over the world. What does it mean to be a leader in these circumstances? Because I see all of you delegates who have come from different schools of great excellence who are here today as becoming potential leaders for not just India, but for the world, because in some ways we have transgressed all boundaries. We are global citizens. And even while you act locally, you constantly think of the global challenges, and those global challenges impact on you in a very local way as well. So what does it mean to be a leader? And how will the Jammu Youth Conclave enable you to become leaders of the future? I think every leader today, and this is what I keep telling all the students that I speak to, or all the young leaders that I speak to, wherever in the world, and I do a bit of traveling. I crisscross even in these pandemic times. I've been in Australia, in New York, in London, trying to engage with young people in these difficult circumstances where we are always engaging virtually. But I say that leaders of tomorrow, no matter what happens to the world, will need 5 qualities. One, and Khushi, you illustrated this by your initial remarks, is the ability to communicate. I'm sure you're not exceptional. There are many more like you in this school and amongst the delegates here. But the ability to communicate clearly what your thoughts are, and not in a kind of lazy, shabby fashion, but coming to the argument with a clarity which only can come once you have thought through what you're going to say. So the ability to communicate is something which is so important. And I think the Youth Conclave gives you that opportunity to learn to better communicate. No one, I believe, is a natural communicator. All these skills are developed. And that's why I'm a great believer in nurture rather than nature. I generally don't believe that you could have inherited all the qualities that will make you a genius without working hard. I think you need to develop these qualities. So first is communication. Second what the Youth Conclave will teach you, and I hope activities like the Youth Conclave will teach you, and the experience of Jodhamal itself will teach you, is the ability to collaborate. You know, the time for individual acts of genius is over. In our world, in our age, in our times, you need to learn to collaborate. You need to develop to collaborate with friends and even those who might not be your friends in a project mode. So, first of all, you need to communicate, then you need to collaborate. And the third is the one which is most difficult sometimes. You need to be able to collaborate with those who think differently from you, who are culturally different from you, who speak a different language from you. Now, that's not easy because sometimes you have to collaborate with people across cultures which are diametrically opposed to you. But that's one of the good things about education and about learning from a liberal education like the one that Jodhamal provides you, is this ability to be able to reach out across cultures, across cultural barriers. Let cultural barriers not prevent you from the possibilities of collaborating, because only when the human beings, countries learn to cross those cultural barriers is there real possibilities for finding solutions which are germane to our whole planet. And fourth is the ability to be critical thinkers. What does critical thinking mean in a simple way? It means not knowing the answers, because Google can provide you the answers today, or any other search engine can provide you the answers in a second, much faster than you could have ever have imagined. But the right question, because Google can't provide you the right question. What is the right question to ask? And that only can happen once you have the kind of learning through youth conclaves and other forms of learning through your schools, because critical thinking is really about what is the important question that we should ask ourselves in any problem. You become problem solvers not if you know answers, but if you can ask the right question. And finally, going back to the Buddha, it's confidence that you can liberate yourselves and you can have the self confidence to enlighten yourselves and be an island to yourselves. These are not great words of wisdom, but these are just things that I hope will help you grow as much as they have helped me grow. Best of luck. God bless you. I'm sure that through the Youth Conclave and other forms of education, you'll emerge as true leaders that all your schools, the country, and the world will be proud of. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Your thoughts have enlightened our minds and have shown us a new path. Now I request our trustee, sir, Mr. Nandan Kutyala, to take the spotlight and motivate the delegates by his encouraging words.
Morning, students. Morning, friends. Amitabhji, thank you for your talk. In fact, I would ask the people who are organizing JYC to keep this recording and show to our kids for their benefit. But it just captures virtually everything what a student needs to know once he's in college. Thank you once again to Team JYC for putting up this conference. And one last question. Whatever Amitabhji says, please follow, because the present PM and the last 3 PMs follow his advice. So I guess that's a good enough template for us. Thank you once again, and all the best to the organizers. Thank you, Amitabhji.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, I would like to request our Secretary General, Mr. Mia Mohammad Raza, to take over and declare the meet open.
Thank you, Khushi. Warmest salutations, heartfelt greetings, and a big Jodhamal welcome to all dignitaries, delegates, faculty, and stakeholders present. A heartfelt thank you to all participants for giving us the honor of hosting you all this JYC and showing us that it's humanly possible to wake up before 11 on a weekend. Since its inception, JYC has been a forum to express, celebrate, discuss, and share new ideas and opinions. Seeing the recent situation, it is more than crucial for us to keep on deliberating, discussing, and expressing. As the Secretary General of JYC this year, it is my solemn duty to provide each delegate with the best of deliberations, discourse, hospitality, and most importantly, to bore the delegates while I give my opening address. I promise to keep my address short and sweet, just like the position papers we get one day before the conference. But in all seriousness, each one of the delegates that have connected with us this year holds more power and potential than any of us can ever imagine. You, ladies and gentlemen, are the future of the nation as well as the world. And with such bright, budding, and talented delegates, I can say with confidence, world peace is not far away. This JYC, rather than awards, let's try to take away knowledge, values, and bonds. Something that you can proudly say was a unique result of JYC 21. Now, by the power vested in me as the Secretary General of Jodhamal Youth Conclave and also the owner of this enormous gavel, I, Mia Mohammad Raza, declare JYC 2021 officially open.
Thank you, Raza. Thank you, everyone, for joining. On the behalf of Jodhamal Public School, I extend a really hearty vote of thanks to our chief guest, Professor Amitabh Mattu, who spared time from busiest schedule to grace the occasion. Today, we had an opportunity to hear your thoughts, and this will surely be going to encourage us in future events. Thank you, everyone.